Government is pushing the needle forward to get the idea of road safety in motion. From reaching the root through public education on road safety to engineering apps for a secure ride for public passengers. The message is being pushed right across the local sphere. And as always, we're here to spread the information a little further. Welcome to another Friday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Audrey Williams. I'm in the driver's seat today, and your first road safety tip is to buckle up. We're about to commence today's journey.
Motorists, when driving on the road, here are some simple reminders. Look out for and extend courtesy to all road users. Give plenty of room to pedestrians, especially in wet weather. Drive slowly. No bother wet them up. Slow down when approaching a pedestrian crossing or school, and always be prepared to stop. Remember, a school zone is a 30-kilometer zone. Cut your speed. Drivers of large and slow-moving vehicles should always keep in the far left hand of a dual carriageway. Keep it simple. Drive left and pass right. These are just simple reminders of your road duties. Drive safely.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, March 18, 2022. After 2 years, the order and all measures under the Disaster Risk Management Act, DRMA, brought into effect to manage the COVID-19 pandemic have been withdrawn. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the announcement during his contribution to the 2022-23 budget debate in the House of Representatives yesterday. He stressed that the pandemic is not over, but management of the virus must be mainstreamed into the general, normal management of public health safety and public order.
It is no longer sustainable to manage the pandemic as a special project by executive order through the Disaster Risk Management Act. However, risks still remain, and continued vigilance is necessary, especially for vulnerable populations.
While the DRMA ends today, Mr. Holness says some measures will be retained and incorporated into regulations issued under the Public Health Act instead. These include persons who test positive for COVID-19 needing to isolate, testing sites required to protect the privacy and identity of persons using their services, and continuation of sanitizing and hand-washing measures. Mask wearing in enclosed public spaces is being retained until April 15. However, it is now recommended, not mandated, in establishments that serve food, liquor, or other drinks for consumption within the premises. The same is true for maintaining physical distance.
The general infection prevention and control protocols applicable to workplaces will also be highly recommended, but not mandated.
Curfews have come to an end, while the requirement to obtain a COVID pretest within 3 days prior to travel is retained until April 15, after which it will be reassessed with a view to its removal. Certain restrictions currently applicable to hospitals, nursing homes, infirmaries, and correctional facilities will become matters for policy at the level of the Ministries of Health, Local Government, and National Security as applicable. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has lifted the ban on the hosting of entertainment events as of today, Friday, March 18. Even as he reopens the sector, Mr. Holness is reminding industry players that permits and licenses must be sought and paid for before events are staged.
The permits granted will include a condition that the number of persons in any venue must be below 70% of the capacity. This condition will be kept until the 15th of April, 2022.
Mr. Holness also announced measures to support the entertainment sector in its reopening. These include a special $150 million window to be created by the Chase Fund to assist musicians, entertainers, theater production companies, and promoters of festivals and events. The Development Bank of Jamaica, DBJ, is to launch a special entertainment restart loan facility totaling $500 million in April.
Under this facility, $250 million will be reserved for micro-enterprises, including vendors supporting the entertainment industry. Micro-enterprises will be able to access loans of up to $750,000 from the DBJ accredited microfinance institutions for working capital, equipment, and refinancing. An additional $250 will be reserved for small and medium-sized enterprises who will be able to access loans of up to $5 million through participating BBJ, microfinance, and approved financial institutions.
The funds complement a Ministry of Entertainment grant, which sees players in the sector accessing up to $1 million. Municipal corporations have also agreed to cut permit fees by 50% for the first 6 months of the sector reopening. And the Prime Minister has directed all government entities which rent venues to examine the possibility of cutting their rent fees or making the venue free for certain events. In other news, ground was broken yesterday for the renovation of the Devon House courtyard to make it more attractive and safer for locals and visitors. The Tourism Enhancement Fund is implementing the $70 million project. The renovation will be done by Bernard's Construction Services in 2 phases leading into the new financial year. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the project signals the government's commitment to position Kingston as a gastronomy tourism attraction.
Today we're trying to kickstart, I would say, a new development thrust to position Kingston and particularly Devon House as a gastronomy center of the Caribbean and arguably the Western world. Gastronomy represents, as you know, the centerpiece of the consumption patterns of visitors across the world.
The scope of work for the new courtyard includes the construction of 2 gazebos, new entry structures, pergolas, new paving, landscaping, and improved water supply. Government is looking into replicating the underground water recharge system at Innswood in St. Catherine in the parishes of Manchester and St. Elizabeth. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Desmond McKenzie made the disclosure following a tour of the St. Catherine water system on Wednesday. He says this is being explored as Manchester and St. Elizabeth account for a significant portion of foods produced across the island, and water is critical for these productions.
The question of water is critical. Whether it is water for domestic or agricultural purpose, water is critical, and it is a part of the agenda of the government that we provide these resources to improve the quality of life for Jamaicans.
He says the ministry's technical team will be engaged to determine the best way to expand water systems across the island. Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ has extended the deadline for persons to file their income tax returns to Tuesday, March 22. This applies to companies, partnerships, self-employed persons, employed persons with other sources of income, and all other categories of income tax filers. They have until March 22 to file and pay their income tax returns for the 2021 filing period and estimated returns for 2022 without any penalty being applied. The public is reminded that they must file online using TAJ's online portal www.jamaicatax.gov.jm to stay ahead of the usual last-minute rush. Tax Administration continues to provide free tax season support for income tax filers who earn $10 million or less while observing COVID-19 public health and safety protocols. Taxpayers may make an appointment to sit with TAJ personnel who will help them to file their returns and register for the convenience of e-services. Visit jamaicatax.gov.jm for more information. And finally, members of the public can now track the progress of the National Tree Planting Initiative through a new mobile app. The 876 Trees app was launched during an official ceremony at the Forestry Department on Wednesday. It was developed by the Amber Group and is compatible for Android and iOS users.
It will primarily allow for the tracking of seedlings distributed by the Forestry Department, but it will also allow the public to submit information about trees planted since September 2019, when the NTPI, that's the acronym for the National Tree Planting Initiative, was first announced. The app also provides relevant and timely information to assist users on the planting and maintenance processing for their seedlings.
CEO and Conservator of Forests, Ainsley Morgan, says the 876 Trees app will also have several rewards to encourage Jamaicans to plant and care for the plants. Under the National Tree Planting Initiative, led by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, the goal is to plant 3 million trees by October 2022. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was in Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up. Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence. A whole way of celebrating it. They say the people them, you know, them come here, you know. But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, but no, them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal panta fight, you know. Medal. Amount of tongue we give them, you know. These celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report. I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration. Yeah. I don't know the app to get the updates then.
The road safety targeted approach for government starts with children. The aim is to cultivate behavioral change and discipline on the roadways quite early in life. To give some more context, we're about to show you some details on the recently launched Safe Passage, Safe Routes to School Road Safety Clubs.
Extracurricular activities or clubs have always been a nicely added dynamic to our education system, structured on the idea of creating well-rounded portfolios, personal development, meeting more and diverse peers, and improving communication skills for students. Now, with innovation and a goal for creating more focused road users, the Jamaica Social Investment Fund is revolutionizing the idea of school clubs. JSIF is creating a first of its kind for us here in Jamaica. JSIF has teamed up with the Ministry of Education and Youth, the Ministry of Transport's Road Safety Unit, municipal corporations, the Community Development Committee, and the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch to form the Safe Passage, Safe Routes to School Road Safety Clubs. It's about to make traveling for children much safer through public education.
I'm pleased that this social network was formed as a follow-up to a prior Safe Passages project, which aims to provide a safe environment for students as they traverse specific roadways and thoroughfares in the vicinity of selected school campuses. It was designed, among other things, to provide a safe environment for students as they travel to and from school in certain targeted communities.
The Road Safety Club is an important software, I will call it. So beyond the hardware, the road safety clubs are designed to provide the sustainability to the infrastructure that has been provided. And it works by increasing the capacity of the teachers, parents, the awareness of the members of the JCF, and other persons who are in charge of keeping the roads safe.
The infrastructure that was provided under government's $155 million Integrated Community Development Safe Passages project contains several components that make it easier for children to navigate the streets.
The Safe Passages project contains several components, including the rehabilitation or construction of infrastructure such as sidewalks, bus bays, guardrails, painting of murals, installation of road safety signs, as well as the implementation of comprehensive public education and road safety program that will engage school staff, students, and residents from the beneficiary communities. And finally, to ensure that this is sustained, the formation of the road safety clubs, which we are launching in a very special and significant way today.
The clubs are being set up in an initial 7 primary and infant schools across the country, namely Augustown, Bickersteth, Greenwich Primary, Hope Valley Experimental, Roehampton, Salt Spring, and Treadlight. At the core is the support from those monitoring traffic on our roadways daily.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force have had a long history of working together with schools and the children in terms of educating and of course providing information in terms of how best we can take care of ourselves, that especially the children that have to traverse the various roadways. This particular program, which is the Safe Passage Road Safety Club program that has been launched by JSIF, the JSIF lauds the effort because what we believe is that a kind of holistic approach to safety of our children and of course the entire commuting public, it will make a big difference.
But what really sparked the development of this new initiative?
In terms of global statistics, too many of our children are suffering from fatally or other injuries. Many of these injuries and deaths occur in low and middle income countries, such as Jamaica. Furthermore, a large proportion of this figure is made up of children, particularly child pedestrians. Statistics from the Road Safety Unit reveal that in 2021, 487 road fatalities, with 69% were the most vulnerable groups of road users: pedestrians, motorcyclists, and children.
And to create further context for the need for these clubs, with less than 3 months into the year,
a 12-year-old boy died on the nation's road. As a result, he died as a result of injuries he sustained when he was hit by a motorist along the roadway in his community. In his community of Lilliput in St. James. He was crossing the road and didn't make it home.
And as government seeks to do its part to protect children using the roadways.
And now that we have returned to full face-to-face teaching and learning in our schools, we will begin to see the impact of this project. I expect that this valuable initiative that has been undertaken by JSIP will continue to have a life-saving effect on residents of the beneficiary communities for years to come. Learning to be safe on the roads is a lifelong process.
We urge you to do your part to drive, ride and walk with care while looking out for the nation's children.
This mayhem can only be stopped through behavioral change and discipline. We have a duty to our children to preserve them on the roads, at school, in our homes. This especially as we adjust to the return of full face-to-face classes.
Government is also using technology to further push road safety. Through its TravelPal app, it's ensuring that public vehicle passengers can travel in safety and security. Let's learn more.
There's this vast yet ever-growing network of connected things, causing meaningful disruption even in the transportation industry. And that's the Internet of Things. Beyond your ride-sharing services, scheduling and routing company vehicles, or the cashless bus and rail services, life-changing technological advancements are engineering safety features and interactive designs to improve the transportation experience. Life-changing technological innovations, such as the TravelPal app, is one way through which the Transport Authority is revolutionizing the industry of movement.
Travel Pal application is an application used, or developed, I should say, to empower the commuting public to know that they're entering into a licensed vehicle by the Transport Authority. That's it in a nutshell. To know if it's a licensed vehicle of the Transport Authority, and also to make sure that they are safe in the vehicle. The need for the application, Travel Pal application, came 5 or 4 years ago when the management team of the Transport Authorities tried somehow, some way to let the commuting public know that they're entering into a public passenger vehicle that is licensed, not just by looking at the red plate alone. Having a red plate on a vehicle doesn't mean that you're licensed. Yes, you have been licensed, but we want to know if you're currently licensed. So we try to find a way to let the commuting public know that they're actually entering into a currently licensed public passenger vehicle. And if not, what they can do with that as well.
The features that characterize this app are necessary for our social climate and quite revolutionary.
Features of the Travel Pal application are: 1, the sharing of the application; 2, the verification of the vehicle that you're going in. Once you download the application, all that's needed is the registration of your phone number. Once the registration of your phone number is done, you put in a license plate, verify the license plate information. For example, you will put in the license plate PP1234, and then you can verify the owner information, you can verify the driver information if it's available, you can verify the license information. You can then share that information with loved ones, your mother, father, whoever you want to share information with of the trip. And you can also, in the event that something happens, you can also push a panic button and share that trip information and location with loved ones as well. Those are the main features. Features that will be coming in the Travel Pal application in the coming weeks or months is that we're going to be interfacing with the JCF, Jamaica Constabulary Force 119 Center. So once you push that panic button on the application, it will no longer send information only to your loved ones, but it will also send a signal into the 119 centers of the JCF as well.
And for your peace of mind, the $2.3 billion Travel Pal app, which has been attracting hundreds of persons using public passenger vehicles, manages your data with high security standards.
Our next driving or road safety tip is always check your tires. But in the event that you need to change them on your journey, here are some lessons.
I have absolutely no idea what this is or what it's even used for. But today on Autospot, I'm going to be learning all about tires, and who knows, I might even end up changing one myself.
A tire is a ring-shaped component that surrounds the rim, which helps to cushion the road feel and offer traction and stability of the vehicle. You have all-purpose tires, which can use in all terrain. You have wet tires. For wet tires, it's for like wet road condition. You can't use a dry tire in the wet season. You get slippage. For the tire to be completely functional, you need the rim, you need air to be inflated in the tire to get it to the correct air pressure so that it's suitable for road condition. A cold tire is when the temperature inside the tire is reduced to like normal road temperature. At that time is the correct time to check the air pressure within the tire to give you an accurate reading. For the hot tires now is when you're driving on the road for a long duration of time and the heat inside the tire builds up and increases the pressure inside the tire. Tyre inflation is the pressure inside the tire, which can be in kilopascal, bars, or PSI. There's an instrument called the tire pressure gauge, which I have here with me. You use to take the tire pressure. I can demonstrate for you. First, we'll have to remove the dust cap from off the tire. Place the tire pressure gauge on the tire valve, and it automatically push out the tire pressure gauge and give you the correct reading.
The driver still needs to play a big role in the safety of the vehicle on the road. Now, we see a lot of vehicles coming into our premises at our body shop, and we see a lot of accidents that could have been easily prevented. People texting, people not paying due care and attention when they're on the road. Now, Jamaica had over 370 odd deaths last year on the road. There's a big target to get it under 300 this year, and that can easily be achievable if people just pay a bit more care and attention when they're driving on the road.
The tyre normally has a manufacture date on the side. From that date in which the tyre was produced, you can know when the tyre needs to be changed. Within 4 to 6 years of the manufacture date, the tyre is due for replacement.
But what if I'm on the road and I have a flat tyre, what do I do?
Okay, the first step is to park the vehicle in a secure location, flat surface. Pull up the emergency handbrake, ensure that the vehicle don't run back or anything. Then you gather your tools, including a jack, lug tool for the job. Alright. Here you have the lug. You're gonna place the lug tool on that, ensure that the correct lug tool is fit perfectly, and you push it down in the anti-clockwise position.
Okay.
And you do that for all 5 lugs.
Okay, and it's usually 5 lugs?
No, some vehicles carry 4, some carry 5, some carry 6. But for this application, it's 5.
Okay. So what else do you do after that?
After you remove your lugs, you remove the complete wheel and you have it all for yourself. Then you go for your spare and place it back on here and screw on back. You tighten back your lugs.
Alright, so this is what you use to tighten it back?
Yeah, this is the lug tool.
So you're going in the other direction?
Yeah, clockwise. Turning. And you always tighten diagonal. Right, you tighten in the clockwise direction.
So which one? Which
clockwise.
One first?
It can be anyone, but you have to tighten in diagonal. This, then this, and this. Yeah. Cross and cross. So the tire go on, the wheel go on even. And then let down the vehicle, and then you finally torque the lugs to make sure that they are correctly tight.
Where do we usually find the spare tires?
Alright, depending on the vehicle type, sometimes the spare is under the vehicle, on the back of the trunk, or inside the trunk.
So it's not as simple as it seems, but it's clearly doable. It's all in a day's work, well, at least for a newbie like me. But really it should take about 10 to 15 minutes to change. I can promise you there's so much value in learning to get the job done. I certainly feel accomplished.
To hit the brakes in a few, but we're happy that you took the time to spend this half hour with the JIS team. We shared a bulk of information to fuel your tomorrow, but just in case you need this experience all over again, visit our YouTube channel. And while you do that, visit our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for more information. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Audrey Williams. See you soon.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.